All right. Hello, hello. Give me a one in the chat if you can hear me. Let's see. Where am I at? Hi, everybody. Give me a one in the chat if you can hear me well. Okay, I'm just waiting for a few people. All right, let's get started. Okay, great. Oh, thank you so much, Ken, because I'm like, can everybody hear me? I don't want to just keep, talking and no one can hear me. All right, great. Hello and welcome. Welcome back to another episode of Narcissistic. I am your host, Dr. Yaya Marie, and I am so happy that I am here another Wednesday. It is incredible to be here. There's some announcements to all the listeners on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you're hitting that like button and that share button. We have a really good, deep show tonight. Okay. Make sure that you are subscribed and you like the content, let it get pushed out even more. Hi, Ken. Hi, Demi. Let's see. There's a few updates. If you're on my YouTube, I have been uploading some what is it called? There's rain sounds, fire crackling sounds, just sounds that are supposed to just relax you. This is not like meditation or things or frequency vibes. This is none of that. Just sounds that I like to listen to. There was a time where I did a show in the past where I'm like, hey, I don't know where to listen to these certain sounds that I like to listen to, especially before bed. I like my raindrops or I like the fire crackling sounds. And so, I was like, maybe I should, get this program where I can make my own and I can feel safe about hearing them. And in the process, I haven't really actually putting some stuff together. And I uploaded one, was it yesterday? It might have been yesterday. And it was the raindrop sounds. And the feedback was pretty good. I mean, I want to upload more. It was just a test run, but I'm going to upload a lot more because I'm like, okay, yeah, I can do this right here. First, let's say hi to the panel. Demi, did you want to talk or?
Oh, I just said hello. How are you?
Oh, hi. It's been so long since I had like a regular live show like this. It's crazy.
I know. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like the sounds that I thought that was you, but I wasn't
Yeah,
sure.
that was me. That was actually me.
There's a lot of things going on with the internet, and I was going to ask you about on our next show. Like, okay, was that you making those
Yes, that was
ambient sounds?
Yes, the ambience.
Yeah, I like that. Those are very, very, very nice. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And I'm going to upload some more because there was some that I just wanted to listen to it. I like it when you're relaxing or maybe on your vacation and you want to have like the fire crackling sounds, or sometimes people put weird frequencies in the back and you're like, okay, wait, what?
True.
So, yeah. Well, tonight's show is titled, What Does It Really Take to Heal? And prophetic dream that I had along with spiritual rituals exposed. Now, if you are on my TikTok and Facebook, I actually pushed out there the dream that I had last night that I cannot shake. This was actually just last night. And I know that I'm supposed to say this because I forgot about the dream upon waking up and just laying down. It was re-given to me. So I'm like, okay, this is of utmost importance that people need to hear this. I'm supposed to tell people this. Now, I'm going to start off. Announcements are done. I'm just going to start off with what happened last night when I was sleeping. The dream started off where I was in some type of facility, okay? Like a almost like a factory or maybe a school or a workplace type thing. Do you know I was like peeking through maybe like a door or a curtain? And here's a tip. Whenever you're having a dream and you're like peeking through something, you're peeking or looking through or you're behind the scenes, that is indicative of you're being given spiritual insight. You're being shown what is going on behind the scenes. You're being shown what is actually happening, possibly to a nation or other people or people that you may know or not know, or just people that you're supposed to tell these things to. You're being shown something. This is when you're peeking or looking in a dream. So I'm peeking through something and I see a lady. She's walking, walking, walking. Then she walked backwards and then she walked under something, like under a table. And it was just weird how she was doing it. And in the dream, people asked her, mind you, I'm watching, okay? In the dream, people asked her, what are you doing? And she said, I'm doing what God told me to do. This is what I do to please God, something along those lines. Switch to another lady, same dream, same facility. She was actually giving herself some type of like bath, or she was washing herself. It was crazy to me because what she was washing herself with, the water was extremely muddy. It was like she was washing herself with dirt water, like mud almost. And people asked her, just like the other lady, like, what are you doing? And this woman, she said that she was giving herself a spiritual bath. Mind you, I'm just watching this whole thing go down. I'm peeking through what looks like some type of corridor, and they're outside. After that, she gives the same excuse as the other woman said. I'm just doing this because I feel that I need to do this because I'm trying to please God. And I'm doing this because this is what I'm supposed to do. Those were her exact words in the dream. And then her exact words that she used in the dream were spiritual bath. I wrote all of this down. Mind you, I did not write this down upon waking because I didn't forget. I didn't remember it. And of course, I forgot it. And then I'm just, sitting there getting ready for my day. And all of a sudden, the whole dream replays back in my head. Yeah. So after that, both of the ladies got themselves together and they formed some type of line or formation. Some they were being organized, and they both were really well put together. They knew what they were doing and they were serious about what they were doing. Like they really put in effort. Now, when I'm looking at them, that's when I noticed when they got up from their rituals, that's when I noticed, wait a minute, these people are in prison. This was not just any facility that I'm looking at. This was actually a prison. And it wasn't made known to me that it was a prison until after I watched them do what they were doing. So one of them did some type of walking ritual, walking a certain amount of steps, walking backward a certain amount of steps, then going under a table. The second one did a different ritual where she was crouched down, scrubbing her face with water and leaves. I remember the leaves just scrubbing her face. First lady said this is just what she does to please God. This is what she knows that God wants. That's what she thought. Second woman says, I'm giving myself a spiritual bath, and this is what I do to please to please God. That's what she said, please the Lord. That's what she said. Um, Mind you, I am watching everything go down. So it's not even like I'm in the dream participating. I'm looking. Okay. With that being said, I didn't know that they were in a prison until after, when I saw them get into some type of formation line, or, just going about their business. What was significant at this point of the dream, both of the women were wondering why they were in prison. Both of the women said to themselves, I don't know how that happened. I just saw, or I was feeling their thoughts. I have no clue. I don't even want to explain it, because you know how people take stuff and they try to twist it when you have dreams like this. Both of the women, in their heart, they were like, I don't know why I'm in prison. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do. I'm doing everything to please God. Why am I in prison? They were wondering this after they were doing their rituals. So it was just really hard to watch, because the reason why they were in bondage, and not, this was given to me in the dream, the reason why they were in bondage was because of the rituals that they were doing, that they were participating in. And I couldn't say nothing. I wanted to just like tell them or shout or bang on something. I'm just watching the whole thing go down. Couldn't do anything at all. They were in bondage because of the rituals that were taking place. They were in bondage because of, their traditions and what they thought was pleasing to the Most High God. It's what they thought. It had nothing to do with God. Those rituals that they were doing, I mean, they're walking back and forth and then crouching under. I don't really know too much about that one. But as far as the spiritual bath, the lady said that she was doing a spiritual bath on herself because she thought it was pleasing. Now, that is very popular in a lot of African countries as well as the Caribbean. There has been people on my channel, on my show, or my comments of the things that I post, they will make a comment and they're advising people to take a spiritual bath. And I shut that down real fast, because I personally have not ever taken one, but I knew it was the wrong thing to do. Because once you're saying I need to do a ritual to get clean, I need to do a ritual to get out of this relationship, or for luck or money, or to be healed, I know that's a problem. Now, I didn't know it was such a big problem or a big deal until that dream last night. I didn't know how real that bondage is when you're doing something so what you may think is insignificant. Anybody got anything on that on the chat or in the
Wow,
comment?
that's interesting. So people, we kind of forget that even if you try to dispel whatever it is that you're going through with some other type of, I guess, for lack of better words, inconsistency of doing something to try to unspell it.
Yeah, that's right.
They think that that's okay.
That's
Instead
right.
of just believing that you need to pray.
Yep. That's
all confused.
That's right. And now that walking ritual thing, I don't know too much or anything about that. If anybody, because there's all type of countries in here. There's people from South America that listen to this channel, Australia and everything. If you know anything about that, I mean, feel free to chime in. But that was just, I'm like, wait, what? What kind of walk a certain amount of steps, walk backwards? Maybe I shouldn't say that, because people be researching and then they want to do it. And Like for real, even when I wrote my book, I had to write a disclaimer in the front. Like,
Right.
this is not for, fascination. This is for healing purposes. Don't,
Mhm. Mhm.
we don't want to get down to the point where we're like, okay, yeah, let me research this and see what that's about. No, we
Right.
don't do that.
Right. You can't heal something away with another type of ritual.
Right. Right. And that was what that dream, that was very significant. Now, I'm tying this back to NPD and, getting over, toxic people in relationships or toxic family and things like that. But the root of it is turning to a custom as opposed to actually hearing from God. And I think that it was extremely significant because the symbolic meaning of a prison, that means bondage. A prison, when you're dreaming about a prison, that means you're stuck, you're in bondage, you cannot get anywhere, you can't go, anywhere. Think about bondage in your life. You can't move forward. There's a hindrance there. Okay. So when you're having dreams about prison, that really is spiritual bondage. It's symbolic.
Like it's like something has a hold on you.
That's right. Now, I mean, I've heard, of course, we've heard of the spiritual baths, and that practice is not of God. Many people wonder why, okay, why can't I get ahead? Why do I feel like I am in prison? I have dreams that I'm in prison or in cuffs or in bondage or I can't get out somewhere. That is all symbolic of bondage. A place where you're stuck, where you cannot break free. Anything that you do, you feel like you can't get ahead. You take, two steps forward, then there's one step back. That is all a part of being in bondage, a spiritual bondage, because we know that your mind, your will, and your intellect, that is in your soul. That's why a lot of these people, you could be saved or you're a believer, because sometimes I don't really like to use those. I just call them church words because it's a slippery slope with the four wall, like the church. I'll just say that. But when you're a believer of the Messiah and you're wondering, why am I having these dreams? Why is this happening to me? A lot of the bondage that is taking place, the bondage that's taking place is in the soul realm, not the spirit. Your spirit is saved. A lot of the bondage that's taking place in your life is through the soul realm, so it could manifest in the physical. And then if you don't know, you don't know any better, if you're ignorant to these things, lo and behold, or later on down the line, you do feel it in the physical realm. You're not just being hindered spiritually. It starts to trickle down to that actual physical realm.
Every I want to interject, Dr.
Uh-huh.
Yashira. I mean, every time you talk about that, I just I just want you to do just one book on that.
Oh, I'm so glad you. I am.
Okay, because I
It's
mean,
almost in editing.
I
Yep.
think that
Right.
right there, that whole dynamic of
Mm-hmm.
your three elements of yourself, people kind of forget that whole idea. We forget
Yeah.
that, and then you're taught in school of, and I don't want to bring this whole subject up, but it's psychology. They talk about these three things that kind of churn your life, your inner
Mhm.
being. The id is the ego and the super ego. When a lot of it goes deeper than that.
Yeah.
It's much deeper than that. And the way you put it in that spiritual light, that makes me realize that there's more to me than just what I see in the mirror.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
There,
could definitely feel it.
oh,
Everybody feels it. And I put that in the book too. No matter who you talk to, let's say you talk to an atheist. You
mm-hmm,
talk to somebody who doesn't believe anything at
right.
all. They don't believe, they're not on any side, right?
Mm.
They'll never say, I don't believe I don't have a soul. Even they know they have a soul. Even
Mm-hmm.
the people that don't believe in, Christ or anything, any beliefs that we have, they know that they have a soul. Even those people do.
And
It's
that's why they
fascinating.
still, I'm sorry, that's why they still believe that they have to be right within their soul, their spirit.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Whether
Yeah.
they believe in a higher being, they just know that they have to be right with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really believe they have to believe in another's entity, because they know that themselves, they have to follow in their spirit and their soul and manifest that within themselves.
Maybe. I
Is
don't
what
know.
I kind of get from
Maybe.
when I read about atheists. I mean, but if something happens, they will. A lot of them, a few of them, say, "Oh my goodness," or "Oh my God."
Yeah, they just, going along with the motion, I
I
guess.
heard one atheist say that when they was in some certain situation, they was like, "Oh my God."
It's on the line, like, I mean, when I talk to people, and one thing about theology, I remember being in school because my doctorate is in theology, the first one back in 2020. When you're learning about other people's religions, you're like, okay, honestly, I used to be burning up in my chair. Like, I just wanted to be like, do I really have to know this, really? Because I was just so agitated. Can I be honest? I was agitated. And the reason why was because you have all these people seeking enlightenment. You have all these people turning to, or worshiping ancestors and African gods. Then you have people that don't believe in the Messiah. Then you have people that are into all type of alternative religions. All of their deities, you could find some type of casket, not casket, but a tomb. You can find a tomb, or you can find, where this person was buried, or there, people still seek enlightenment for the rest of their lives. But when it comes to the Messiah, people that believe in the Messiah, we are believing because we have had a spiritual experience. We have had things happen to us where there is no denying the power of God. And it just, if it was kind of agitating to me to sit in those classes and have to learn about, other religions. And also, of course, parts of mine, I'm the type of person where you do your own research and you do extensive research. You don't just do one Google thing. You have to really research, get your references, and do a lot of it. Not only that, you stay prayed up, because a lot of people, especially on this internet, they will say things like, "Oh, Jesus was, that's for the slave masters. He had that on the ship." It's all, that's garbage. Now, if that were the truth, it may, okay, let's say if it is the truth. Let's say that Christianity or the Bible was actually brought over to Africans and they were taught this new religion. My Ethiopian Bible is still dated. Some of them are dated 3 BC. That's older than slavery. Howbeit, this Ethiopian Bible is the oldest Bible that you can have in your possession. How is it? How does that predates slavery? So, that's how I shut them down. That's how a lot of these things, all these people on YouTube, they are just mimicking other people's rhetoric because they all sound the same and it's all pure ignorance. All right, enough of my rant. Okay. Do you understand what I mean, Demi, since you're here?
Oh yes, yes, yes. I
Say that?
totally understand.
Yeah, they would say things like, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
the Bible was man-made." And okay, what book do you know that is 2 BC old?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Right.
read.
Right. Right. It
So
goes
why
before
not
us,
read?
all these different versions of it, and they kind of interject as to which one to believe in. But you still have to do your research in everything, any verse, because a lot of the verses they're not too far off from what the original says if you really want to research it.
And if anybody is interested in that, what you do is you go to the Septuagint. You can even see me. I like to search mine online, but if you don't, if you like to have the actual book in your hand to see the closest
Mm,
that was, from before, like way
original.
before King James, all of that, just much before. You just go Septuagint, search Septuagint, even on Amazon. You can go on Google, all of that, and it will come up. Look up the Lord's Prayer this in the Septuagint, and you will see the differences. There's
Mm,
so many differences that were tweaked and things like that. Okay, I understand that, but when you're reading, you have to ask the Father for discernment.
right.
Yeah. So all of that, I'm not going to believe because it's man-made. For it to
Right.
be a man-made book, this sure is lasting.
Mm,
It's got to have some type of divine
right.
intervention. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
okay, moving along from the dream. We're thinking about the prison is, that's symbolic for bondage. And a lot of these ladies that were in there, they were wondering, how is it that I'm still in prison and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do? In their minds, they thought that they were right. In their minds, they thought that they were worshiping the Most High God. But in reality, they were not. Those practices were not of God. They were not at all. So from the dream, I gather that, even if in anybody's lives that may be listening, the Most High wants us to take a look at what ritual that you may think is insignificant, that you may think that you're accustomed to doing. What is it, and how could it be a hindrance to you? Now, just because it's your ritual, it's your culture, that doesn't make it right. Truth is more important than tradition. Okay. The truth is more important than tradition. And traditions, they change, but the word of God, it lasts forever. That's the living word. And anything else on that, Demi?
Wow. That's powerful.
Yeah. Yep.
Because we're so used to tradition. We're so used to what we've been used to doing since childhood, basically, if not generations, that we get scorned upon, even from your own family, if you research and find the truth and you say your piece, and then it becomes a division in the family at
Mhm.
Thanksgiving or the Christmas or whatever holiday, that somebody will say something. Oh, no, no, we shouldn't have a tree in the house
Yeah.
because of such. Even when people know the truth, they still follow tradition. They still cannot break away from tradition. Tradition is strong.
Yeah.
It's a stronghold on your spirit and your soul. And it does tie into, what we kind of hate to say it, but it breaks up a lot of families, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're that person that you're steadfast in knowing the truth, you might have to break away from some family members and let them know, look, I can't be in the same room with you guys doing all this stuff because it's not right.
Yep. And just
And
because it's your ritual, it doesn't make it right.
exactly.
When I was just getting ready for this show, and hey Sarah, I hope everything's all right over there. And just when I was getting ready for this show, I was just writing down some notes, and I wrote, just because it's a ritual, it doesn't make it right. Truth is more important than tradition. Truth, truth is more important than tradition. Traditions change, but the word of God lasts forever. Forever. That is the living word. When I saw in that dream, it was deeply disturbing. And important to note that when the lady was washing her face with those leaves, the water was like a muddy water, to the point where I'm in the dream. I'm looking. I'm like, why is she washing her face with this mud water? It was filthy, and she just had the leaves just scrubbing her face and scrubbing, washing and crouched down, washing. Um, Upon waking up and I forgot the dream, and it came back to me, and then I'm like, what was up with that muddy water? And just the word, when I say the Father is so good, because he answered me that, water is symbolic of cleansing. Like when you're having dreams about you washing your body, like regular water, not no muddy water. You're washing yourself or you're washing your face. That is symbolic of being clean, like deliverance, and you're delivering and cleansing your soul. Not all dreams about water are like this. If you're having dreams you're being held down underwater, that's not good. Okay, that's something different. But when you are cleaning your body, cleaning yourself, cleaning your face, regular clear water, you're washing, that's, you're cleansing your soul. So it was really eye catching in a dream to see this lady washing her face with that mud water with the leaves. Looked like kind of like a long branch with leaves on there. And that water symbolized, yes, she was cleaning herself, but that is not the water of God. She was not washing her face with the water, what we want. She was washing all right. She was washing with more filth, more dirt, more grime. And I woke up, I said, okay, I have to, I'm not, if the Most High give me a dream to tell, I'm not going to sleep on that. I'm not going to say I do it tomorrow. No, I have to do it today. That just happened last night.
So what does that muddy water mean? What does that mean? She's like, is something's in her spirit, something's after her, or what does the dirt symbolize in the water?
And from what I gathered from the dream, she thought she was washing.
Oh.
Washing regularly, doing what she was supposed to do. She was getting clean. Her soul was getting clean, but the water was actually mud.
I see. From the rich. Okay.
It wasn't happening because the pretense of what she was doing was not the water that we were supposed to wash with.
So something in her spirit that she's doing is out of order, or she's a ritual in her life that she may not know about, or she may know about.
I gather that she did not know about it, because when they started forming some type of line or formation, both of the ladies said, okay, why am I still in prison? They were so distraught. It was like, why am I here? Like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm in prison still. Like, that was a whole demeanor. And that is actually what they said too.
Right.
They were wondering, I wrote it down. They were wondering, why am I still in prison? I'm a child of God.
So you're peering at this happening in the dream means that, is it happening to someone you know, someone you in your acquaintance, a family member, or?
I just know that when you're looking or peering into a scenario or a scene,
right,
that is just insight. I don't know if it means it's something,
right.
Once you tell what's going on, maybe possibly people might come out the woodworks and say, I don't know, but I just know that no one could see me in the dream. I'm just peeking through. Like,
I had a dream like that. It was kind of strange to me because I knew I was looking around like, okay, what's happening? And no one could see me, no one could hear me. That's all I remember of the dream. I don't remember writing it down at that particular time, but I woke up like, why am I looking at this scenario? Because I didn't know, I guess coming into light of what we talk about.
Yes. Anytime you have that type of dream where you're peeking through or you're sneaking through to look at, or people just don't see you, it's a spiritual type of insight. You're getting knowledge that people don't have. No, like you're an undercover agent, basically.
So I see things that they don't, and they're going to be left behind, so to speak.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I just added that part in. But
I don't know. Somebody being left. Oh my goodness. Too funny.
I thought I'd add that part in because
no, I mean, I hope not. Well, some people, that's why it's so difficult when I don't call myself any type of like titles except for the ones in academia. Like, okay, yeah, that's an actual degree. But as far as people saying I'm a prophet, I'm a dream interpreter, I'm a this and I'm a that, and just exalting themselves and being so just kind of sort of looking down on people, to be honest, because these you ask for the gifts and you submit. Okay, everybody has some type of gift. Everybody has, more than one, of
very
course.
true, very
Some
true.
people have, discernment more. Some people have another one more, or some people have interpretation more, or they know right off the back of your head, or some people can see,
Mm-hmm.
but I would never go and say, I'm prophetess, Dr. Mira Abby. Everybody just
I knew someone like that when in my profession where they would not answer to anyone if they didn't say the doctor in front of their name. And they were not a doctor of medicine. They were a doctor of, some in education. They would not respond. And I thought that was like hilarious.
I mean, that right there, if you're in a professional setting and people are just, because some people are really nasty, and
yeah.
I get that a lot, because even with my shows and stuff, they say, little stuff. Oh, you're a doc. If you're a doctor, then I got, a beach in Ohio to sell you. First of all, Ohio has beaches. Thank you.
Buffalo has beaches.
Georgia has beaches. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, but they're all, because they think you're supposed to look a certain way, or possibly, maybe they think I'm supposed to be older.
That's superficiality of themselves. So that's so superficial of them, because they don't get around a lot. They don't talk to people enough, so they don't really know. So we'll give them a pass for not knowing.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as there's people within religion, the ones that are the prophetess, doctor, I don't comment. I don't do that. I don't do that.
They haven't studied
too much of a high standard.
Exactly. They're not studying.
Soon as you post a picture of you bopping your head to, I don't know, any type of song, a beat that you may like, or you drive a certain car that you like, or you collect cars, or you have a nice house, they're gonna look at you funny, prophetess. Because when you're putting yourself in that and saying that I'm a prophetess, that, not knocking anybody, I'm just saying that there's people that are saying to the internet, and they're prophesying falsely, and they don't really have the gifts. They don't really have them, really.
They want to so bad.
Yeah, possibly, but I know what I know, what the Most High
told me. Analyzing these dreams, that's incredible. I never thought of dreams the way that you put it. Like I said, before knowing this, I'd never dreamed. I never thought I'd dreamed up until in my 40s, 50. I was like, wow, now I wake up, I remember my dreams. I never remembered them.
And anybody who's, wondering or listening, all you have to do, you have to ask, and you have to, the way out of this, even if you think, you've been in this prison, because the subject tonight is spiritual rituals exposed, and how that gets you into this bondage, and people dreaming of these prisons. And I just got spiritual insight last night about this prison and bondage being tied to rituals that people are doing behind the scenes. Okay. the way out of it is, number one, you have to recognize, let's say, for instance, ask yourself if it's a hard thing for you to let go of something, say, why can't I let this go? Why does it have such a grip on me? Why is that? Why is this a stumbling block? Or not even, maybe it's not even a stumbling block. Maybe you're living a perfectly fine life, right? But you notice just by even listening, or maybe something else happened to you, like, no, I need to let this type of ritual go. I'm going to the tarot card reader, or I'm going to the spiritual bath person, or I'm calling these people back in Africa, because that's a big thing where they're doing sacrifices for me. If you found yourself doing that, and by the way, on YouTube, a lot of the followers that I have, because you can see like through the YouTube, the studio, you can see that who my followers gravitate to, like the type of videos and things like that. And so many of them are on the tarot card reading.
What?
What? That's what I said too. I'm like, what? I thought I had to refresh the page.
Oh, rebuke, rebuke, rebuke.
You cannot find your answers in these people. You cannot find the answers that you're looking for, will not be found in a tarot card reader.
No.
Not be found through a psychic or the spiritual advisor. It's not going to be found through that.
That witchcraft.
No, you have to submit yourself. Like literally, and honestly, if you've been to those type of people, okay, well, repent, say you're sorry. That means repent and you turn away from it. Don't do it again. And you move on the right way. You move on the right way. How do you fully submit? How do you fully move on? It takes full submittance. Did I say that right? The racist got me. Submittance.
Submitted. Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay. It takes you to be fully submitted. How about that?
Submitted. Yeah.
Where you no, and honestly, think about it. After a while, the Most High God will be like, "Look, I'm just gonna let this narcissist just keep at it until you really just be like, okay, I'm done. I can't take anymore." You don't want that.
Wow. That was, yeah, and I think you'll forget that too. That you're choosing certain things in your life and being of these rituals. That how do they? What is it saying? You miss your blessings. You're blocking your blessings, so to speak, with these people in your life, and you're not really understanding the whole flow of the matter.
You know the saying, out of the furnace into the fire, or out of the fire into the furnace? Yeah. So when you're getting out of this toxic relationship, now you know that this person is just sent by Satan, right? When Satan plays matchmaker, he was a matchmaker, right?
Right.
So now that you know that, do you think it's just going to be easy getting out of that? Like some people, yeah, it is. Don't get me wrong. You're just like, okay, nah, I'm not. I'm just going to go full out. No contact. You can't find me. I'm off the radar. But for a lot of people, you're going to get tempted with other stuff right after. Right after you leave that relationship, you're going to get tempted by a tarot person, tempted by a spiritual bath, a healing person, tempted by, okay, well, I could do this for you, and if you let me do that, right when you're leaving that relationship. That is why it's important to have a steady head, be steadfast. Okay. And if it is a stumbling block, or if you're having a hard time letting go some of these customs and rituals, especially people from the islands, the Caribbean, look, I understand y'all, people be burying the navels and taking out the tooth and putting a string around your finger. Y'all laughing, but I know exactly what.
So many things.
I know, I'm telling you.
So many.
More than spiritual baths in the Caribbean. We got
so many things you've heard from great grandmama, them, all of them.
Great grandma leg that swole up 3 times. I wouldn't take any advice from her. And sometimes she'll give me an advice, and your leg is 4 times. It's
It's
Definitely
sitting
not.
in so much that they've encrusted into their minds that they just
Mm-mm.
generations, and then again, lack of knowledge, lack of wanting to know.
My people perish for lack of knowledge. That's the scripture, and that is 100%. And all scriptures are true, but that right there,
That
people
is the
perish. That means
epitome.
people die from lack of knowledge. And you have to think the road to where we're trying to get to, heaven, is narrow. Do
Mm,
you know all these people on this earth who are doing this type of stuff?
mm,
Cutting up chick. This is the cutting of like animals. This is not even just
mm,
in
mm.
Africa. Do you know they're doing this here in America?
Oh yes, oh
And
yes.
people's
I
backyards.
have
I have it. Yes.
some stories on my way to work down south, and when I used to work
Yes.
down there, and you would see these things in bags on the side of the highway. Like, what is going on?
Yep.
It's
Yep.
incredible.
It's rituals. They're thinking they're turning to that as opposed to turning to God.
Yeah, yeah,
And that is the moral of tonight's
that's right.
lesson. That was the moral of the dream that I had, which was so profound. In, this is the first one that I did on something like this. I keep saying I got to tell people these dreams I'm having. But this one last night, I was like, yeah, okay, I understand. Yeah, okay, I got you. Look, I'm on it because it was that significant. I don't know what kind of ritual that is when they're walking, doing some type of formation. I don't even know. I tried to research it, and I don't even a lot. Some other stuff came up. Yep. But anything else that anyone would like to say in the chat, or Sarah says I don't remember my dreams. Yeah, ask and pray. And before you go to sleep. Anything else before I log off of here?
That's the prayer. That's what I started doing when we talked about that on one of
That's,
your
oh,
shows.
you were like that too.
I never remember my dream when we had a show back. I don't know how far back, but we talked about that, and I was like, whoa. And I do remember here and there I might have a nightmare or something that was bothering me the day before. I would have a dream about it. But all in all, I wake up and like, oh, go about my business.
Yeah.
And then people started talking about dreams. And then when I came across your page and talking about dreams, I'm like, whoa,
Hmm.
that could be what is holding you back. Not recognize dreams are so important to recognize.
Yeah.
Now that I know.
Part of your life. I mean, it's not just
Right.
insignificant. And
Right.
one day, I'm just going to keep doing what I do, but one day it really is going to really like pop off, and people are going to actually like really get it. The people here now get it. You, Sarah, and people here that watch me now. But one day, because some people are really, they're
Mm-hmm.
like, nah, can't be.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
Mm-hmm.
when I talk about how these familiar spirits, they're setting up relationships.
Right.
They literally will set two people up
Wow.
for failure.
Yeah.
It's throw you off your course.
Mm-hmm. I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. I was in that. I remember that. And then when I was learning and understanding the truth and getting away from narcissists, I remember that demon sat at the edge of my bed and I kicked him off. I said, flee from here.
Ooh.
I said, you flee from here. I guess.
Look what we're doing over here.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
raising up demon kickers.
Yes. I remember that. I remember because I was in between, like, oh my gosh, what do I do with this?
Mm-hmm.
It was the person was in my spirit, and I was trying to just dismiss, not think about it, move on, and I knew something was wrong
Oh my gosh.
because the person wasn't right.
Oh
And
my
thank
goodness.
goodness I wasn't in it to have children or property or anything to
Goodness.
with
Because you know how
and I
they
just
want to
I
move
remember
real fast, especially
when
with
I
children.
yes when we came across and I got your book and just learning about the dreams and the spirit, the soul man, and all this, and I saw that spirit come in my dream, and he was looking at the foot of my bed, turned and looked at me, and I was in the dream, and I said, I got up and I lifted up and I looked. I
Oh
just
my goodness.
flee. I just kicked him off and said, "You flee!" And I haven't had any types of dreams like that since.
Whoa.
I
That's heavy.
haven't. Now that I think about it, I have not had a dream like that's been maybe almost a year now.
Mm,
Maybe 9, 10 months. Wasn't that long, but
that
it
is
was. Yeah, I haven't had a dream like that ever since. Thank
hmm.
the Most High. I haven't been petrified or scared or anything
Mm-hmm.
about that type of
Right,
behavior.
right. But especially about that because
Hmm.
that's another level of how dare you.
How dare you come to me like that?
Right. Like,
How dare you?
but you know what, I always say the devil, they don't have no feelings.
No.
That's why when these people come back into your life and people like us, excuse me, are actually so willing to say, oh, well, what about she or
Mm.
he? What about him? Or
Hmm.
how would they feel?
Hmm. You
Uh,
give them the benefit of the doubt.
do they have feelings when they come to you?
No, 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 no. And that was more than enough. You took enough of my time. You're not
Right,
going to come to me in my dreams. No, thank you.
right. Exactly. That's what I tell people. They think it's not real.
It's
It
real.
is. Yeah, it is real. It definitely is.
Thank you for sharing. I appreciate your platform. I appreciate all that you do, Dr. Yashmira, because we need this. A lot of us need this.
No problem at all. Sarah says that she finally cut off the last few connections and items I had, and it's been a huge shift. I feel the lack of access. It's amazing. Yeah, that's a good one. That is something to think about. You ever kept something from a toxic person or a narcissist, of course, and you get rid of it and the whole atmosphere changes?
Hmm. Hmm. That's true.
Throw
Don't take
away
any
those little
pictures.
teddy bears people give you for Valentine's Day back in the day, or go.
No pictures. None of that. Don't save any of that. Move on.
Exactly. You don't need any of that. Well, that's awesome. Well, I just hope everyone had a wonderful night, and I thank you so much for being here. If you missed the beginning where I broke down that dream, please go back and watch it after this live and comment below if you have had any type of experience with those two rituals or things that these ladies that I witnessed that they were doing, especially the walking thing. If you have any type of experience or you know where that came from, okay? Because I'm like, well, what was that, and where would someone get that from? Yeah, that was awesome. Okay, alrighty. Well, thank you so very much once again. I'm about to be here, and if you see me uploading some other things as far as the music and the actual what was it called again? Ambient sounds. Make sure that
Ambient
you
sounds
like,
like
yeah,
that. I like that a lot.
because all this stuff has these weird frequencies. I'm not trying to, like, come on, y'all.
Mm-mm.
Can we do something normal? Can we just listen to the rain? Can we
Right.
just listen to something? Just listen to a sound or some beats just normally
Yeah.
without saying, okay, here's some whatever hurts. There, boom.
Right. Right.
What is that supposed to do? Like, it's supposed to get down in your soul, subconscious. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's another sound ritual, another ritual for you to come back and listen to it some more, I guess. I don't know.
I told y'all what happened to me last time. That's what gave me the fuel to
Oh
actually do
yeah, I
this.
remember what you said. Yeah,
That
that happened to me too.
voice started changing when I was going to sleep. I said,
Right.
"Oh, my time
Right.
is."
I, nobody wants to hear that.
I rebuke that. All
Mm,
right. Well, I love you guys. Thank
love you
you
guys.
so much once
Thank you.
again. Thank you. See everybody. Good night, y'all.
Good night. Bye bye.
Bye.